All right, folks, big happy Tuesday to you. It's the 24th of September. It's a little better than 6:30 p.m. Nothing better than a good road trip. Going through the great state of Wisconsin here. I'm on my way home. In fact, I'm only about an hour and 20 minutes away from home. I'm coming from Minneapolis. My responsibilities, respectfully, were kind of over by about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And yeah, said to hell with it. Said to heck with it, excuse me. I was able to get out of my hotel fee for tonight that I had originally planned for. Threw the bags in the truck, and there I went. Great trade show, conference, whatever you want to call it. It was the 2019 Railway Interchange. We ended up having a booth there ourselves. We've been having them for the last few years, and this was my first opportunity to join in the doings, and pretty good stuff. So anyway, I'm an hour and 20 minutes from home. There's a couple pieces of equipment that I've been looking at online, and I'm here now, running through here to take a really good look at them. I just got done. I was gonna take off, but I figured we'd do a little video and say hello. These are just some pieces that I'm looking at. It's nothing that's gonna show up at the farm anytime soon. This is not justifiable to have. With some more property, it is, though. And that's kind of what we're talking about here, folks. That's a grave possibility for this next spring coming up. I am in the market for a good used older model John Deere finger pickup. This is the 7000. The other one of choice is the 7200. I don't have a claim to fame here of knowing the ins and outs of corn planters. I know a little bit about them just from education. Without going through it with a fine-tooth comb, this is some pretty good shape. This is exactly what I'm looking for. It really truly is. I want the dry fertilizer tanks in the front, and of course you got your corn. And then I would prefer the back insecticide boxes for in the event of putting corn on corn, which basically means planting corn in the same field 2 years in a row. Looks a little jacked up, but yeah. Got a nice older model John Deere 7720 combine here. It's got a nice collection of pretty good looking heads here too. And this is the other thing I'm looking at. It's the cultivator. This is John Deere model 980. This is a 21 foot. It does have these spike tooth harrows in the back. It's in pretty good shape. Very damn good shape. You know, it's absolutely amazing to me. You know, let me put my seatbelt on. We'll do some jaw jack and do some traveling. Hold on here a second. It's amazing to me the price of these four-row corn planters, what they'll go for. They'll supersede a 6-row any day. And I want to have to say that that's probably because of their want and need for what I'll call your, I don't know how else to say this, your weekend warrior food plot guys, which, you know, that's a good thing. But yeah, like this one here, that's in damn good shape. That is a 38-inch row though. That is not a narrow. We deal with narrow, and that is 30-inch rows. The obvious decline of agriculture, which is a crying shame. A lot of these yards are chuck full, and they're only going to get fuller if these yards decide to bring in more equipment. Of course, if it's good equipment at a good price, they'd be a fool not to. It's just a matter of getting rid of it and how far you have to go to get rid of it. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's a buyer's market. It really is. I hate it. I don't wish for this to be like this, but it is a buyer's market. It has been for well over a year now, and it's just going to keep getting that way. So anyway, okay, enough all that crap. Yes, I am in the market for a corn planter, preferably a 6-row. It needs to be a 6-row narrow. I do like the 7000s, 7200s, as long as they're in fairer shape. A person can actually work on them and replace them. I'd have to say at least 90 some odd percent of it anyway, versus making that big phone call for a service, which you even think about making the call, forget about making the call, think about making the call, and it's going to cost you $200 damn at a minimum just to think about it. And then as far as the cultivator goes, this isn't normal way of thinking, but I want to get away from the deep, heavy tillage that has been normal for that farm, for the Vieser farm. The only way I'll ever use a moldboard plow again is obviously if it's been hay ground, also known as sod, which is coming up sooner than later for some of these fields. You know, put in the corn. You know, of course I got the chisel plow, but even at that, now I'm not here to start talking to you about no-tilling. It's something I need to open my eyes and ears up to a little bit more. I will admit that. You know, you got to change with the times a little bit, change with what works. The reason for the cultivator is basically treat it, so to speak, and there's probably going to be some eyebrows raised here. Obviously, is a tillage tool, because it is a tillage tool. It's been a long day, folks. Keep up with me. I'm just blowing wind here. You know, at a shallower type depth, instead of, you know, now I've got that 15-foot disc now, and I am really proud of that thing. That thing does such a great job. But with a lot of this stuff, like the following springs, stuff that was put in oats, maybe even barley, the sorghum that needs to be tilled, that you can't expect my disc, which is a finishing disc, by the way, to completely till up property. You can't do that. I'll ruin that damn thing. So I'm kind of looking at like a cultivator for that initial first workup of ground, and not turn it over, but basically break it up, you know, for 3 or 4 inches, and then get in there with the disc. And if you have to disc it twice, it's okay. So that's kind of my way of thinking. I am preparing now for some possibilities next year. I'll tell you the truth. I am looking at an additional amount of property. We'll see. Talks have begun. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm ready to take on more. This year I could have, because I was only able to get 1 crop off of everything except for some alfalfa. I was able to get 2. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if that is the case, if more property is acquired by way of lease, if I'm able to do so, which things are pretty meek here these days, folks, another type of larger, wider, but less aggressive tillage tool is in order, along with a corn planter. An oldie but goldie. And we'll see. That's my science and story, and I'm sticking to it. But yeah, it's been a good long few days here. It's been real good. I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen for a long time. We're talking 10 plus years. And then of course a lot of people within my own company, where you basically, you know, see their names on, you know, basically emails and once in a while phone calls. So it was really nice to catch up. Very healthy, proud type atmosphere there. You name it, the best of the best, the biggest of the biggest was there. Some very amazing stuff. Very amazing stuff. My God, are times changing. Holy cow. But heading home. I'm going to be happy to get home. I ought to be home by 8 o'clock. And do a little unpacking. Put the old feet up and get ready for tomorrow. We got a really good weather pattern here. We've been having a lot of half sunshiny days, which is better than what we've been having. Tomorrow is the same, and then Thursday's a complete sun day. We haven't had one of those for weeks. I kid you not, weeks and weeks. So we'll see what we can do about possibly raking some straw. It depends on the future weather pattern. That stuff's just mushy wet out there. I'll be damned to turn it over and get the other end, the bottom end, mushy wet as well. You know, so I got to really look at the future forecast here, and I just know that it's starting to be go time here for a lot of things that are already extremely late. I mean, we're staring down October 1st here. October can be an extremely tricky month here in the UP of Michigan. November is a given. So we'll see what happens, folks. Anyway, stay tuned for tomorrow. We'll make a video or two. We'll do some catching up on the herd, see how they're doing. Talked to Dad this morning. He said the sorghum is going extremely well. We've cut the cows. The beef herd been cut off on sorghum because they're real busy right now with cleaning up paddocks. That's worked out real well with all that rain that we got. Kind of a give and take here. The Holstein heifers continue to do so well on the sorghum silage, and it's good stuff. So anyway, folks, I got to get going, get my eyes on the road here. I need to get home, put the feet up, and we will talk to you tomorrow at some point. We'll talk to you then.